are a country famous for our Kiwi ingenuity. All we need is a piece of number 8 wire and we can create amazing things. So, why not apply this to a growing industry where skills like creativity and adaptability are always in demand? I'm talking about the information and communication technology sector, where there is a chronic shortage of computer professionals. And today, I would like to propose a solution to this problem. I believe there should be a greater focus on the digital technology subject in high schools, specifically the computer science strand of the curriculum. I am thankful that I was exposed to this topic while there was still time for me to change my career path. Unfortunately, many other students won't have the same opportunity as I did. In my region, the Manawatu, my high school is only one of a few to offer the computer science course. But we should be urging all high schools to offer this course because of the skills it teaches our students. But before I go into the benefits, I would first like to present to you some ideas taught in the subject. Computer science includes programming, which is the process of designing and building computer software. It's basically creative problem solving, finding the shortest and most efficient solution or algorithm to a problem. An algorithm is a sequence of steps or rules which are used to solve a problem. When I was first introduced to this idea, my teacher asked me how to tell a computer to leave a room. This is a simple task we would do multiple times a day, so the entire class responded with, "Walk through the door." But she then said, "But I'm a computer. I don't know what a door is, never mind how to walk through it." If this was a room you were trying to leave, then your brain would work through steps to ensure you achieved this task. You would first identify the door, walk towards it, detouring around any obstacles in your way, open the door if it was not already, and finally, walk through it. And you can see that there are potentially many different ways for how you could go about leaving this room. But you would probably take this route instead of that route because it would not take as long. And this logic is applied to computers. And algorithms are actually used to code things we use every day. Raise your hands if today you've been through traffic lights. We're in Wellington, we've all been through traffic lights. Maybe you used an electric toothbrush, or maybe an alarm clock woke you up. You used a remote to turn your TV on. Perhaps you heated your food in the microwave, or you paid by credit card or EFTPOS for something. More often than we realise, we're using products that have been cleverly designed and created by computer scientists. Because the job of the developer is to build a program that is precise and unambiguous so that the computer is able to understand the instructions it is being given so it can then do things for us. These instructions are written in a programming language, which is basically just a language that the computer is able to understand. For example, these two codes have been written in Python, which is a language taught in some high schools. Now, the codes on screen actually do the exact same thing. But what you may notice about these codes is that one of them is considerably shorter and more efficient than the other. Therefore, that code is going to be completed faster by the computer. So these are the practical uses that I explained before. So through teaching students how to write algorithms, we're teaching them to think outside that box about problems they don't usually consider. And aren't we glad someone came up with the traffic light? It's a subject where it's easy to get interested because the student isn't strictly confined to what's taught in that curriculum. They're able to use their own computers, and there are always articles to read, forums to join, and YouTube videos to watch, my personal favourite. So an ICT student quickly learns how to be resourceful, which encourages independent study rather than having that reliance on their teacher. But at the same time, it teaches them how to work in a team by sharing work in order for everyone to improve. So you can see that the skills taught in this subject are valuable for any workplace. And in fact, a lot of jobs now require the use of computers, including those in retail, hospitality, healthcare, financial services, even construction. And in each of these fields is software specific to their needs. So only someone working in that field knows exactly what they want the computer to be able to do for them. So if we were to give people the background knowledge of computer science in high school, it would help to break this communication barrier between someone who knows what they want and someone who knows how to make it. And that would then increase the productivity from these industries as the employees become more and more ICT literate, allowing their equipment to become more and more efficient. But the people who have the computing skills to create the equipment are in demand. The number of ICT professionals in this field needs to double in the next 4 years. So there is a large number of ICT jobs appearing on New Zealand's long-term skills shortage list. So the government is actively encouraging experts in this field to come and work in New Zealand. But it seems obvious to me that we would be better off training our own students for the industry where they are going to be needed in future. And a company called Orion Health is thinking a similar way. Their approach is to take people with other qualifications and repurpose them for a job in IT. Many people leave university only to find that there's no jobs waiting for them. In fact, for every job in science, there is 25 in ICT. So many return to university to study computing where there are plenty of jobs. But this seems like a waste of their time and our resources. Instead, we need to catch our students at an age when they're planning their career to make computer science Plan A. So why are so few students studying computer science to begin with? Well, part of the reason may be down to the stereotype that has been developed. When people think about computer science, they imagine people with pocket protectors and thick glasses who code all night. But this simply isn't true. We need to give our students an insight as to what a job in this industry really entails, because currently they are under a very false impression. And as well as this stereotype, there are also issues within the subject itself. Until the standards were realigned a couple of years ago, the subject was not even considered to be an academic subject. So the clever students the industry needs will choose not to take the subject because they didn't see it as interesting or challenging or of any future career relevance, really. And this perception seems to have stuck. Because now that the subject is finally offering complex ideas, student numbers are still low. And is that perhaps due to this staggering array of 43 different courses available in secondary schools, of which there's only a large focus on English and mathematics, because we will always have to be able to read, write, and do calculations. But these days, isn't it just as fundamental to be able to understand and use a computer? So our problem is that there are a lack of students studying computer science. The solution is to make the resources available to teach the subject in every high school and to give our students an insight as to what a job in this industry really involves. This will require government funding, but the benefits to the students and to New Zealand will by far outweigh the cost. We know that New Zealanders have the creative ability to invent things the consumer loves. Our list of inventions ranging from bungee jumping and jet boats to the egg beater and referee whistle. And lately, there's been a plethora of products like laptops and smartphones. But who's working on the new ideas? The next big thing? It could be New Zealanders, but only if we give them the helping hand to get started in their secondary school years, bringing with it economic benefits as companies like Orion Health are able to shift their focus from finding employees to building their products and making money. New Zealand is one of the first countries in the world to implement computer programming into a high school curriculum. So why not use this to our advantage? By putting a greater focus on the digital technologies in high school, we are giving our students the tools and knowledge to succeed in a world where the economic climate is never certain. Let's give them the opportunity to apply their Kiwi ingenuity to an industry relying on this clever innovation. I challenge my generation to develop the cure for cancer, to find a renewable energy source, to make a flying car, to build a time machine. Nothing is impossible with a bit of number 8 wire and some background knowledge in computer programming. Thank you.
Hi, Hayley. My stupidity, I'm a little unclear. Are you saying it's not in all schools now? It is in all schools now.
I'm saying it's a subject that is available, but not all schools offer it.
All right. When the cars were invented and took over the world, we left it to the experts to know how they worked. Why do you think that's not the case with computers?
I think computers are such a huge subject these days. I mean, how many people do you know without a phone? You know, how many people do you know that don't use the internet?
I don't know many people without cars either.
Exactly.
But they don't know how they work necessarily.
But they have the background knowledge of how to use that car. So by giving people, like teaching them how to use computers, like what computer science is really, it teaches them the background knowledge of how to use a computer and different ways in which it can be applied, and makes you appreciate what you have has been created by not just one person, but thousands working together and bringing it all together to make something that the consumer loves.
Do you see any danger in, if we emphasise computer skills, do you think other skills, other inclinations might be squeezed out?
I don't think so, because we will always have to be able to read, write, do calculations. And computer science is just becoming another one of those things we have to be able to do. I mean, a requirement of me giving this speech was being able to put together a PowerPoint. So it's just something that I had to know how to do. So I think we should be giving all our students the skills to be able to do the same thing.
Just a small point, you showed a chart with NZQA subjects. Computers and digital technology was on there.
Yeah, NCEA puts, that was the list of subjects that schools can offer.
Right.
And that is a subject it can offer. But like I said, only my school is the one to fully offer a computer science course in the Manawatu.
So it's a policy issue really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thank you.